Puerto Rico's southeast coast was the first to feel the effects of Hurricane Maria, but the entire country is now dealing with one of the most powerful storms to ever bear down on this island. With winds of 250 kilometers per hour, heavy rains and tidal surges, these conditions are expected to last for hours. Puerto Rico has long been spared from a direct hit as hurricanes tend to veer either south or north of the island. The last direct hit from a Category 4 hurricane was decades ago, and officials are preparing for the worst. At least 1 million people are already without power. Puerto Rico's ailing electricity grid is still recovering from Hurricane Irma. This time power could be out for months. The nearby US Virgin Islands also took a direct hit, with many residents leaving before Maria arrived.
Trying to figure out where I was going to stay in Puerto Rico, and I think a lot of other people were in the same boat. I mean, you had everybody leaving from the BVI, people leaving from the USVI, but I'm glad to be in Miami now.
Widespread flooding is now a concern, as are mudslides in the island's mountainous regions. It's thought storm surges could reach 3 meters. Here in San Juan, we've been getting battered by hurricane-force winds for hours, and rain is pouring in. But if you look down on the street, you can see the kind of damage that's been done. Windows have been blown out, roofs ripped off, debris all over the place. And if you think these are the conditions here in the capital, where buildings are moderately well built, the picture on the southeast coast where the storm made landfall and in the rural areas could be potentially a lot worse. As Hurricane Maria continues its destructive path across Puerto Rico, the recovery in this US territory, already dealing with so many challenges, could be a long one.
Alright, Shalom. First, let's start by saying all praise to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth with sincerity. Now, as you can see, the Lord is jacking Ephraim up. But not only Ephraim stay on that island, you got documentaries out there that's show that Simeon stay right on that island also. They be crossing the ocean to get over there, as illegal immigrants. But there's other tribes on that island as well. But the majority of them are Ephraimites, man. So the Lord jacking them up, man. And I'm going ahead and just jump in the scriptures. This is Nahum chapter 1 verse 3. The Lord, Yahweh, is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord Yahweh hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storm. So when you look up that word whirlwind, it means a storm, man. And in the storm, and those are hurricanes are storms, man. And the clouds are the dust of his feet, right? So the Lord Yahweh uses Yahweh Shai to command the angels to bring about these storms because of the wickedness that Ephraim is doing, man, as well as the other tribes that's on them islands were doing, man. This is Hosea chapter 5 verse 3. I know Ephraim, and Israel is not hid from me. For now, O Ephraim, thou committest whoredom, and Israel is defiled, right? So they worshiping idols over there, man. They took on Roman Catholicism, some of them Muslims, Christians. When they was conquered, Columbus gave them Roman Catholicism. This is Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. It says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. Right, so they reject knowledge, man. The prophets, you just put it out by Shema Shai, starting with Abba Bivens on down to the apostles night and day, all the way trickling on down to to the elders and the rest of us, man. We've been passing out this knowledge, man, through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, but they rejected it. it says, I will also reject thee, but thou shalt be no priest to me. Right. So the Lord ain't accepting them to be his prophets, and he killing them off. Saying thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. Right. So you better believe that it was a lot of deaths over there that, Esau isn't reporting, man. Because, when stuff like this happens and it says the electrical grid got cut off and it won't be reestablished for months, and you already know they're gonna do the poorest of them last. So if any of them on any type of bed rest, and the flood waters came in, older people that really couldn't escape, the refrigerators, electricity being cut off. So the food and whatever medicine they need to be cold or at certain temperatures and shit. All that shit had to get thrown in the garbage. So a lot of people probably ain't got nothing to eat. Dehydrated. And the FEMA troops and all them said they weren't going to come in until after the storm. But knowing how they did in Hurricane Katrina, they probably went over there and killed some of them. They ain't gonna never put that in the media. And a lot of Ephraimites probably died, man. They they don't put shit like that in the media, but you gotta think through the spirit of Russian Shah, Lord, open your mind that they ain't got no electricity. Where they getting their food from? Isn't their food still cold? Or if they go to the store, how many of them? Since it's the whole island, how many of them? How many stores shelves have been empty? How many people didn't get into fights because of there's lack of food? How many people didn't get killed because they couldn't make it to the stores on time? Because these people got women, they got children. It's a plethora of things that's going on over there, man. They're not, putting in the media, but you got to keep watching, and you'll be able to. And the Lord open your mind to fill in the blanks and shit, man. But it says, Hosea 5:3, I know Ephraim, and Israel is not hid from me. For now, O Ephraim, thou committest whoredom, and Israel is defiled. Right? So they defile with what? Idols. They worship other gods, man. This is Second Ezra, chapter 8, verse 50. It says, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the later time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Right, and they walking in great pride because they calling themselves Puerto Ricans, right? As well as the Simeonites. They calling themselves Dominicans, named after a white man, and they accepted the name happily, man. It's right along with the rest of the tribes that got hit while they was over there, man. It says, but understand thou for thyself and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. Right, it says the prophets are subject to the prophets, man. Right, so prophets subject to the prophets. It says, for unto you is paradise open, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared, cleanness is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed, yea, perfect goodness and wisdom. Okay, I'm going to cut it right there. It says, okay, yeah, I'm going to cut it right there. This is, Luke, chapter 21, verse 25. It says, and there should be signs in the sun and in the moon, right? And that happened, man. And after, what was it? I think it was a solar eclipse, right? It's after the solar eclipse, all this destruction started happening, man. We got 3 hurricanes, and there's more on the way, and other things that are going on right now, man. It says, and then the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, right? With perplexity, right? So they going through distress right now, man. And it says with perplexity, Ephraim the land of Puerto Rico is a poor country. Man, they already owe over 70 or 90 billion, I think, in in debt. And not only do they got that problem, the electrical grid is cut off because of the storm. Houses are destroyed. Stores are destroyed. So they're in lack of everything right about now. Food, medicine, everything, man. You know, because they was dealing. I'm gonna read the scripture again. It says Luke chapter 21 verse 25. It says, "And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity." Right. So they've been trying to deal with their whole debt situation, but now the Lord then swept a hurricane through that. On top of a hurricane and having to fix that situation, they had that flood that came through that, man. So Ephraim getting fucked up, man, and that's what they get, man. That's what they deserve, man. Because they don't want to come back to you. How about Shemal Shai, man? The one in true power, man. It said the seas and the waves roaring, right? And they feeling that right now, man. It says, yeah, I'm going to cut it right there. This is 1 Peter's. 1 Peter chapter 2. Nope. Chapter 4, verse 17. It says, "For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh Shemal Shai." Right. So the Lord started chastening his men, so that we can straighten up, so that we won't be condemned with the world. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel? Right. So there's a lot of men that fell out this truth, man, and the Lord put a lot of them to death already. And but not only them, the ones who are not in the truth, who doing what the fuck they want to do. As you can see, the Lord putting them to death. He said it was going to be 2/3 of Israel cut off. And how's the Lord cutting them off? By way of these storms, by way of these floods, by way of temporary famines. This is 2 Ezra chapter 9 verse 1. He answered me then and said, "Measure thou the time diligently in itself." And this is how we measure the time, through prophecy. "And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." So that's what's happening right now. The Lord is visiting the world which he made, man. And how is he visiting them? Through prophecy. These are prophecies: earthquakes, famines, hurricanes, floods, and just to get off, not to get off subject, but Issachar, Mexico, just got hit by another earthquake. They said it was a 6.1. So the Lord, really jacking up his tribes because he's on his way back, man. And whether Esau is using the heart program or not, it's still the hand of Yahweh Shemal Shai, man. It says, let me see how far we take this. Okay, yeah. It says, this is 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 3. "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest." Right, so we at the end of this white man's society, this white man's kingdom, man. But not only his kingdom, we at the end of all the kingdoms that so-called want to rule after him, man. "Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings, and wonders, and powerful works, and endings, and effects, and signs, and every one that shall be saved, and shall be able to escape by his works, and by faith, whereby ye have believed." Right, so the only ones that's going to be saved and be able to escape is the ones that's doing this truth, man, that's of the elect. It says, "shall be preserved from the said perils," right? So, if there was some Ephraimites over there doing the truth, the Lord would have had them escape. It says, verse 8, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land, the kingdom of heaven, the land of Israel, and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Right, so the Lord set his men, the ones to be saved, the ones that believe, separate from the rest of the nation of Israel, man. You know, he gonna preserve them throughout all this catastrophe. You know, and even if some of us gotta die, you know, the Lord gonna bring us back to life, and we're gonna inherit the kingdom of heaven. So, but yeah, that's it for the lesson. All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Double honors to the elders and apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity, man. And you know, it's a lot of prophecies happening right now. It's a lot of stuff going on right now, man. Just to, make the sad note, the Lord said He is the spirit of prophecy, and we're in a time of prophecy, man. Like the apostle said, there should always be some videos going up and everything, man. But that's it for the lesson. Shalom.